Hello there, what is going on, everyone? We're talking about Adepticon because it is this week and it is time to get our predictions in. We're going to talk about all the things that I am hyped about. I want to hear what you are hyped about, and I'll share some of my predictions. If you share some of yours, let me know down in the comment section below. Adepticon is March 25th through the 29th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee. If you're in town, you should definitely come check it out. It is going to be an absolute blast. In addition to some of the best tournaments in the world for all of the latest and greatest miniatures games, you're also going to have tons of news, a great exhibitor hall, painting classes, all kinds of painting competitions like the Golden Demon, and so many awesome things. We're going to go into so much of it. It is going to be a fantastic time. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment. That's going to enter you to win the $25 Amazon gift card we've got going on. This will run till about mid-April. We'll be announcing the next one, and then we'll start the next one right after that. So make sure you click that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I want to hear what you guys think is coming, and I want to hear maybe what you disagree with me about, what the things that maybe I'm hyped about, maybe you're not hyped about, and so on and so forth. And everything kind of kicks off kind of the night, you know, of the 25th. It's Wednesday, right? And that's where it all kind of comes together, right? This is the things are going to start off with the Warhammer preview, but before that, there's an Adepticon content creator meet and greet on the 4th floor at the Baird Center. So that's going to be a good place to do that. I think that starts at about 5 p.m. Wednesday night, which leads directly into the Warhammer preview show. Now, this is where all the hype is going to be. This is where all the new biggest announcements from GW are going to take place for this year. This is 40K. This is Age of Sigmar. Everything. I think the only game they have that didn't specifically get mentioned so far was the Old World. I don't know if that was just left off of the graphics. We'll have to wait and see. But 11th edition for 40K is going to be previewed at this event. This is going to be supposedly a really big edition for Warhammer, and hopefully, I think a lot of people are hoping they won't kind of, you know, this may be an edition where they don't force you to buy new battle tomes or codexes rather, and all of that. But apparently it's going to be a pretty groundbreaking, a pretty significant edition for Warhammer 40,000, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm personally looking forward to the Age of Sigmar updates. A lot of factions are supposed to be getting their first ever battle tome for this 4th edition, and this means that you're going to see a lot of overhauls, upgrades. I play an Ogre army as one of my armies in Age of Sigmar, and they're supposed to be getting a complete refresh, which it means lots of new models and lots of new Ogres, and I'm really interested to see how they look and what ends up happening to the Ogres, what of my army is going to still be viable and what's going to go in the bin. But we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a very exciting time for GW folks. Plus all of the tournaments, just being able to walk around and see all of the incredible armies that everybody's brought. It's definitely a very much a high point at Adepticon, and it's going to be a very fun time for sure. And a lot of your favorite Warhammer content creators are going to be there as well. So if you are playing or walking around, you're probably going to see people that you know. It's just like, you know, it's all over the place. It's a very cool convention to go to. New miniatures game launching at Adepticon. Also, StarCraft tabletop miniatures game from Archon is going to have a limited pre-sale with their Founders Editions for both the Terran vs. Zerg Founders Edition as well as the Protoss Founders Edition. I haven't even got my hands on that yet. I haven't even had a chance to yet. This is going to be the first time. It's going to be the first time the public is going to have a chance to get their hands on the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game. And also, I mean, Archon has a lot of other stuff. They have a lot of terrain lines. They have a lot of other things that are going on. Their Port Haven Kickstarter with these amazing ships and all of the different terrain and all the models and the RPG stuff they have. They may even have some hints of other games and stuff like that. But I think StarCraft is going to be a big focus of this one. It'll probably be demos. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me because I've been doing a lot of StarCraft tabletop miniatures game content lately. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for like how to play or a tutorial video, and the problem is I'm still in the process of painting my miniatures, and it's taking me a while with so much going on and prepping for the con. And I'm gonna try and see if I can get like a good quality like demo, and it'd be really cool to actually use their super awesome painted miniatures. This way you're gonna get to watch the game played with some of the best quality miniatures too. So that would also be a plus to that. But we're going to see what we can do out at Adepticon. Of course, we'll be over by the Archon booth, and we'll be talking to them and taking a look at everything they have to talk about with StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. There may even be some new units. I'm not sure if they're going to have anything new, but they've already announced a lot of new stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if they have some stuff coming from the next wave on display, and maybe some things that we haven't seen before. Adepticon would certainly be the place to show it off. And they had a pretty big booth last year, and it won't surprise me if it's also really big this year as well. So looking forward to checking out what they have to show us for StarCraft. That one's going to be really cool. Now, Atomic Mass has a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about Legion here in just a second, but there's also supposed to be some pretty cool Marvel Crisis Protocol updates. They did just have the board game announced for that as well. It wouldn't surprise me if they also had something to talk about with Star Wars Shatterpoint, considering all the recent news, and a lot of different outlets kind of have been reporting saying that they've canceled Shatterpoint, which is not at all what they said. But I think this would be their first opportunity on like a global stage to kind of address the world and, to kind of set the record straight. I don't think they are required to set the record straight, because I think they already did in their initial announcement. However, because people have kind of taken their own story and run with it, it's an opportunity for them to further clarify what's going on and what is coming next for Star Wars Shatterpoint. I know Shatterpoint fans are going to be very interested to find out what they have to say. So if they do have anything to say, that will definitely be the place to say it. Now, this is happening Friday, March 27th at 7:30 p.m. They're going to be doing the Atomic Mass Games roadmap. I'll do my best to be there covering that as well. So if you want to watch that live, I'll be trying to stream it and do all that good stuff like I typically always like to do. This will be the place for that. But Star Wars Legion is definitely the game I'm most excited about, to see what they have to talk about. I think there's a wealth of things that they could be bringing forward with regards to Legion. First thing is previews. Previews of things that they've already showed us, but they haven't showed us very much of. This is like, Mud Troopers, Wet Weather Troopers, the Ghost Crew, right? They've already kind of teased the Ghost Crew is coming. I expect us to get a little bit better of a look at the Ghost Crew for Star Wars Legion. This is definitely the place to do that. Tease big stuff. Star Wars Rebels, very popular. I think we're going to get, basically, if you go down the line and look at everything that we haven't really seen yet, I think this is the chance for us to get those previews. For some things that we've seen a little bit of, we'll get probably more previews. I expect everything that's going to be releasing within the next 2 months to be fully spoiled at this point, and everything else to be at least partially spoiled. But that's just talking about existing things. I also expect them to go over reprints, talk about anything new that still hasn't hit the reprint schedule yet, as there are some things, but they've been doing very well with reprints and getting things back into stores. I wouldn't be surprised if they also talk about some new things, and I think there'll be a lot of new stuff. I feel like it's not too far of a wild bet to say we might see Jango Fett at this, spoiled. I think the teaser of his helmet and Mace Windu, Mace Windu being just a reflection in Jango Fett's armor or in his visor, I think that's I think it was almost like a soft tease that Jango was getting close. So that's definitely something I would predict. I don't think that's too far of a stretch. I also don't think it'd be too far of a stretch to see some more Mandalorians, especially with, of course, Mando and Grogu movie coming out, build upon all of the different Mandalorians that we saw in The Mandalorian. It's a great opportunity to bring in Bo-Katan. If you're bringing in Bo-Katan, this also would be a great opportunity to bring in a Mandalorian battle force. I'm really curious how something like that would look in the game, because it could be very, very strong and very elite and very expensive and a very small model count army. If you were to do something like that, I could see that being a thing that they do. It seems pretty reasonable, and I think it would do very, very well. I think people love Mandalorians. They're really fun to paint, and they're very popular right now. So it seems like I think that's a reasonable guess. Let me know if you agree down in the comments section below. Another thing I think isn't too far of a stretch is Pathfinders to finally show back up. We have... And to go along with that, more of a Rogue One box, they had hinted when Pathfinders went away that they, were going away at least for this this iteration of them, which means they could eventually return. They may return and be very, very different. But something about Pathfinders, at least to be able to do like a Rogue One battle force, I do expect that to make its return. I think Pathfinders weren't necessarily broken. I think they probably just wanted to roll them up into something a little bit bigger and include, you know, there was things that were kind of busted about them. The fact that you only had 2 unique heavies and no generic heavy, so you couldn't run 3 like you can with other special forces, right? And things like that were a little bit of a problem. And I think that they will address that. I think it'll get fixed, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. I'm really hoping Baze and Chirrut also come out of that, as well as the possibility for a Rogue One battle force. I think that would be a very cool thing. I'd also, speaking of battle forces, I'd love to see Night Sisters show up. Mother Talzin, Night Brothers, Night Sisters. We already have so many other things. We've got Savage Opress right around the corner. We already have so many of the building blocks for a Dathomir battle force in the game already. It doesn't have to be a Night Sister exclusive battle force, because then that, you know, you might as well take advantage of Maul and Savage and you know, half the population on Dathomir. So you might as well do that. I think that'd be a really fun way to do things. Rancors also be a cool option if we go back to Mandalorians riding Rancors, you know, and Book of Boba Fett stuff. Again, Book of Boba Fett has a ton of things that can show up into this game. I think all of those things are great. And as for going back to battle forces, I'd also throw out there Geonosians could use a little bit more. They were supposed to have a battle force. I don't think that's too far of a stretch to say that we might see whatever was maybe planned for Geonosians. If it was just delayed, this would be a good time to announce it. If it was completely scrapped and had to start over again, then I guess we'll see. But I think that's something that they still want to do. I think they still want to do a Geonosian battle force. It just needs a little more stuff. You don't want to have a battle force that is really, you can only run one version of the army, because this is all that's available. So you want to give some build options and some versatility to any new battle force. This also runs the question, will they see any new factions? Will they be adding things like the First Order, or will they go back and do some classical Legends stuff, Old Republic type stuff, or High Republic stuff? You know, will another faction kind of show up in Star Wars Legion? Some of the language they've used in the past leaves the door open for that, but doesn't actually say that it's happening. And it's, of course, it's smart to leave the door open, but it does kind of get me sort of salivating at the possibility of what new big things could they be doing. Will we see Revan in Star Wars Legion, for example? You know, will we see a lot of stuff like that? I would love to see Kylo Ren and a bunch of First Order stormtroopers and stuff like that, because they have so much of a standing army already. I think it would be cool, but we also know that that's coming for Shatterpoint, so maybe it could also be coming in Legion in tandem. It's certainly a possibility. But it's not just about those. It's also going to be probably, this is my biggest prediction here, is that we're going to finally get Gungans. I mean, we kind of have to, right? How many years can I say, this is the time, folks? How many years in a row can I be like, this is it? If it doesn't happen now, it never will. Only to turn around at the very next one and say, this is it, folks. If it doesn't happen now, then it never will. So say it with me. This is it, folks. If it doesn't happen now, then it never will. So that is my prediction. Well, Gungans, this is our year. This is the year we're going all in on Gungans. And it's not just Gungans. We're also getting a new mode. Full-scale war is being demoed at Adepticon. I'll be covering that as well. I've got my army ready to go. I got to finish packing, but they are all set. And hopefully they survive airplane travel fairly well. So that's something we're looking for. I got my battle foam, though, to help protect them. And if you're interested in checking out Battle Foam, I've got a link in the video description below. You can use the code Crabbok VIP over there and save 15%. So don't forget to do that. But yeah, there's so much more coming. Also, lots of other games that I didn't talk about are also going to have a presence. There's going to be probably going to be some new games that are also coming out and being unveiled for the first time. And there's going to be a whole lot to discover. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be a wonderful time, and I'm hoping that you guys all have a wonderful time as well. That's going to do it for this video. I will see you at Adepticon at the Baird Center in Milwaukee. Lots of fun in Milwaukee, and I'm definitely going to Mater's for some of the best German food ever. It's going to be It's going to be an absolute blast. All right, I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all, and always wash your sides.